The number of LEGO Icons and LEGO Creator Expert sets that are retiring this year is absolutely staggering. This is a theme that adults love. It is a theme of higher piece counts and more intricate designs than many other LEGO themes. And Icons, or previously known as Creator Expert, is a theme that is highly coveted. It is a highly collectible theme with sub-themes such as the modular buildings or the winter village sets or the creator expert vehicles, and there's just so much going on in this theme. So in December this year, we will be seeing a handful of incredible sets in this theme disappearing for good. So if you want to buy these sets from the LEGO Icons or Creator Expert lineup, then your time is starting to run short. So what sets are going to be retiring this year in December 2023 from the Icons and Creator Expert lineup? And let's just jump in and have a look at them. So first up, we have Assembly Square. Now this is a modular building. It is one of 3 modular buildings that is retiring this year. This information is as of July 2023. There is still a few more months where these dates could change. LEGO Group do tend to change some of the dates around, and they may push sets into next year. It is totally possible. But as of right now, we have 3 modular buildings that are set to retire at the end of this year. That is an unheard of amount of modulars to disappear at the same time. So the first one is Assembly Square, and this is a very popular modular building because it kind of stands out from the others. It is larger. Firstly, it takes up 1.5 of the usual plates that are used for modular buildings, and the piece count is larger. It is more expensive than most of the modular buildings in this lineup. This is set number 10255. It has 4,002 pieces in this one with 9 minifigures. The price per piece is around 7 cents on this, which actually is pretty reasonable. It's good value inside the box. MSRP of $300 though, and that was increased when LEGO Group raised a lot of their prices last year. So this is an inflated $300 MSRP of this set. It is substantially more than all of the other modular buildings, which are typically somewhere around 200 or a little under 200. So released in January 2017, this has been on the shelves for a notoriously long time. Over 6 years, which is double the average for this theme. Typically, we see the modular buildings on the shelves for somewhere around 3 years. Some of them go a little longer, like Parisian Restaurant, and some are a little shorter. But this one, 6 years. I don't really expect this one to get pushed out. If we do see a date change on the modular buildings, I don't think it's going to be on Assembly Square. I think the time has come for this set. But again, we should keep our ears to the ground on that just in case. So that is Assembly Square, and that is the first of these LEGO Icon sets that is retiring in 2023. Next up, we have one of the vehicles. I love the Icons vehicle series. I just absolutely love these sets because I think they are the pinnacle of design for LEGO sets. I think that they've just done such a great job on so many of these Icons and Creator Expert vehicles in terms of the design. I'm not a massive auto enthusiast or car enthusiast. I just love the design work on a lot of the Icons vehicles. So the Ford Mustang is leaving us in 2023 as of the latest information. It is set number 10265 with 1,471 pieces. This has no minifigures in the box, of course, and it's a price per piece of a lot higher than what we just saw with the Assembly Square. This is 12 cents price per piece. The MSRP on this one is $170, which is kind of middle of the road on these vehicle sets. We see some a little higher than that and some a bit lower than that. The release date on this one was March 2019, retiring December 2023. So that is a shelf life of over 3.5 years, which is quite long for the Mustang, but it is not surprising because it is such an iconic vehicle, and the demand on this one has been very, very strong consistently throughout its life. Even today, the set is selling a lot. Because of that long shelf life, this is another one that I don't really think will be extended, but again, we just don't know. And they can keep some sets around for, in this lineup especially, for many years. So we will see what happens, but the Ford Mustang, as of right now, is scheduled to retire. Next up, we have the NASA Apollo 11 Lunar Lander. Now, when it comes to space and NASA-based sets, the demand for these LEGO sets is always extremely high. And for that reason, LEGO Group keeps bringing out new space-related sets and has done for many, many years in different themes across the LEGO world. So we have them popping up in LEGO City, in LEGO Friends, in LEGO Ideas with International Space Station Saturn V rocket, and here in LEGO Icons with Lunar Lander, retiring at the end of this year. So set number on this is 10266, 1,087 pieces, 2 little space minifigs, price per piece of 9 cents. and an MSRP of $100 on this one. Now, release date was June 2019, so that will give it a shelf life of around 3.5 years by the time this one retires. Now, it'll be interesting to see if demand for this set continues long into the future. It is harder to see it than some of the other sets that are more collectible. So, for example, the vehicles, they're bringing out new vehicles all of the time, and so that makes the old ones more sought after because there's collectability, and people will want to go back and get this previous Ford Mustang that we just looked at because they're buying the new Creator Expert or the Icons vehicles. If they continue to release space related sets in the theme, it would drive more people to come back and get this lunar lander. So it remains to be seen kind of if it has a lot of that collectability factor, and also if there's excitement around space travel and exploration in the coming years. That will also help with a lot of demand continuing on this set. So lunar lander retiring at the end of 2023. Next up, we have another of the modular buildings. This is the Bookshop set number 10270. Very, very popular set right now. This is a high seller. Piece count of 2,504 with 5 minifigures. Price per piece is low again with 8 cents on this one, and an MSRP of $200. This was released in January 2020, so it is a little newer, or a lot newer, than the Assembly Square that we just looked at, retiring at the end of December 2023, which will give it a shelf life of just under 4 years on this one when it goes. So the Bookshop, another of these 3 modulars, there is another one coming up as well, that will be retiring in 2023. And just in terms of designs, I love this one. It reminds me of the Parisian restaurant that retired a couple of years ago. I'm a massive fan of books. We started our business with reselling books, and I love the whole idea and concept behind the Bookshop. So this is an interesting one to me. Next up, we have Haunted House. So this is from the Fairground Collection, which is another sub-theme within LEGO Icons and Creator Expert. Set number 10273. Piece count of 3,231 on this one. Minifigures 10, so there's a good batch of minifigures, and I love the minifigures in this set as well. Price per piece of 9 cents, MSRP of $300. Now that is a point that I don't like about this set, because it was substantially increased in price. I believe it was $250 when it released, but when they increased the prices last year, LEGO Group raised this one by $50, which in my mind is a large price jump that this one went through. So paying $300 for this one now is a little bit harder, but that price per piece is still pretty good. So the value you're getting for a 3,200 piece set here is really not that bad, including those 10 minifigures. So in reality, it's not really that much overpriced for what you actually get inside the box. But when you look at the design and different things, it is kind of a high price in my mind, because you always got to consider the buyer's perspective when they're looking at, or the perceived value. When they look at a set, is it worth what they're charging? And if you were to buy this for an investment, for example, you wanted the values to grow in retirement, and you spent $300 on it, then you're going to need it to get $600, $700, $800. And although I definitely think that there will be demand on this set, there would probably be low supply on this set, which will lead to the price rising. I just wish that purchase price of $300 was a bit lower to give more runway for that price to rise in retirement. The release date, June 2020, and retirement date of December 2023. So that will give it a shelf life of around 3.5 years by the time this one retires. Next up, we have the Colosseum. This is set number 10276. One of the largest LEGO sets ever manufactured, with 9,036 parts. What an incredible set. This is absolutely massive, and in terms of the build on this, the detail is just so intricate. It's incredible, as you can obviously see here in the picture. It is a lot of the same color parts, of course, so to me it looks like a lot of work to do this build. Let me know in the comments, did you enjoy building the Colosseum? Minifig Zero, it is a very highly displayable piece. It has a base that it sits on and everything, but finding space to display this in your home wouldn't be that easy. It's a price per piece of 6 cents, very, very low price per piece, so you're getting good value with those 9,036 parts for a price of $550. So it is quite expensive. This is on the upper end of LEGO set prices, $550. Release date of November 2020 and retirement in December 2023. So by the time this set retires, it will be just over 3 years old, and it actually went pretty fast. It just seems like yesterday that this set was released. Next up, we have a modular building. Again, this is the third of the 3 modular buildings that is retiring this year. This is the police station. Now, if you are building a Lego city, you are going to need a police station. So the demand on this one, in my opinion, will be sustained in the future, better than the other 2 that we looked at. Better than Assembly Square and better than Bookshop, because police station is something you just can't do without in a city. This is the modular police station 10278 with a piece count of 2,923 and a minifig count of 5. Price per piece on this is 7 cents. Once again, modular buildings, they have this good value that's going for them with the price per piece and a ton of parts in a box for a reasonable price of $200. Now, this is the most recent modular building to retire. This was released in January 2021. So by the time it retires, it will be around 3 years on the shelves. So that is Police Station and the third of the modular buildings to retire. Once again, I think the demand on this is going to be strong. And it will sustain in retirement. Next up, we have the very first of the botanical series of Lego sets to retire. This is the Birds of Paradise. Now, the botanical series of sets have been so interesting to watch because firstly, the concept is so amazing. You have these sets that are based on bouquets of flowers and plants and different things, and people are buying them by the bucket load. They're buying them as substitutes for the real thing. So instead of buying your mother a bouquet of flowers for Mother's Day, people are buying the Lego bouquet of flowers for the same price. It's like a $50 price, get it for $40 when it's on sale, the same amount you might pay for a bouquet of flowers, and now you have this fun activity to do with your mother or your spouse or your child. And you know, it's fun, and then it's highly displayable. They look fantastic on the shelf. So the demand has been super strong on these botanical sets, and the very first one to retire is this one. It is Birds of Paradise, set number 10289 with a piece count of 1,173. 0 minifigs, of course, just being a display set. Price per piece of 9 cents, MSRP of 100. Now, I do think that MSRP is pretty high, and once again, it comes down to perceived value. When you look at pictures of this set, if you are a consumer who is thinking about buying it, does it look like it should cost $100? That's what you should ask yourself. And when you look at something like the Harry Potter Hedwig set, or you know, there's other sets that are $40 that you could look at it and you think maybe that's worth $60 or $70. When you look at a set and you think it looks like it's worth more than what it's selling for, that's a good thing. But if you look at a set and you think it's worth less than what it's selling for, it's not a good thing, because we want the values of these sets to grow over time. And so the perceived value needs to be higher than what it's currently selling for, because that just helps with appetite for the set remaining when the price has doubled or tripled. And so this set being $100, in my mind, it looks like it should be a $70 set. That's just, you know, my opinion, of course. Please let me know if you disagree with that. In any case, the price per piece is not that high, so you do get good value. You do get a great set here. The build looks like a lot of fun. It's $100 MSRP, released in June 2021, so pretty recent on this one. And by the time it retires, it will have been around for around 2.5 years. Will this one definitely retire, or could it get pushed out? The sales have been super strong on these sets, but Birds of Paradise is actually an exclusive to Target in the US, so it is not as readily available as some of the others, and that could impact the decision from Lego Group whether to actually go ahead and retire this or to push it out. But they have continued to release more of these botanical sets, and there's only so much shelf space in the retailers, so they cannot keep them all around. Some of them have to start to retire as, you know, fits the Lego Group strategy, and that's what they do with all of their sets. They retire some so they can free up the shelf space and the warehouse space for the new products. So in my opinion, it is time for a botanical set to retire, and Birds of Paradise is slated to. So I think it will go ahead and retire, but we will see if there's any changes in the next couple of months. Next up, we have the Friends apartments based on the TV show Friends, of course. Lego Group have been doing a lot of these sets based on TV shows for the last couple of years, and they're selling really, really well. And Friends being one of the biggest TV shows ever, they made 2 sets based on this theme. Central Perk was the first one. It retired last year, but it is lingering in stock right now in a lot of places in the US. So the value on that one hasn't really started to go up yet. Friends Apartments has still been on the shelves, has still been readily available this year. It is slated to retire at the end of the year. It is set number 10292. A piece count of 2,000, which is quite a lot for these sitcom based sets. But as you can see, it's pretty large. It has both Joey and Chandler's and Monica and Rachel's apartments, and then you even have the hallway connecting them, and you've got a lot of minifigs with it. Of course, all of the gang are there. 7 minifigs in total. Price per piece of 9 cents on this one. MSRP of $180. Now, is that a little high? You know, again, it's going to come down to some opinion, but also the parts and the minifigs and different things inside the box. There is a lot of exclusivity going on with the minifigs, even though they did exist. A lot of them did exist in the Central Perk set. They're all different variants and different versions of them. But, you know, $180 for a set like this one that is a little less displayable. I know some people would love to display this on a shelf, but in my opinion, it is not as highly displayable as some of the Creator Expert vehicles or the modular buildings, for example. It is kind of, it's halfway between displayable and playable, which is kind of an interesting place to be when you're at $180 of an MSRP. You know, a lot of people are buying it, so the demand is definitely there. Will the perceived value maintain itself after the price starts to rise in retirement? We will see. So the set was released in June 2021, and by the time it retires at the end of December 2023, it will have a shelf life of around 2.5 years. Next up, we have the pickup truck. This is another vehicle set, and it is an old iconic vintage pickup truck. Amazing set. 10290. This is a piece count of 1,677. It does not have any minifigures in it. Price per piece of 8 cents on this one. It does come with a handful of accessories, including like a cool little watering can and like a wheelbarrow. It's very, very cool in general, this set. MSRP of 130. Price per piece of 8 cents. Now, this was released in October 21, so by the time this one retires, it's going to have a shelf life of just over 2 years, which is quite short. As we've seen, it is below the average when compared to some of these other sets here. This one was heavily discounted during Prime Day 2023, so retailers are kind of moving some of these units out. Whether that means that maybe it's a little under demanded or there's a little more supply that the retailers want to be sitting on right now, we will see. We'll see how it pans out for this set, but it is retiring in December 2023. And next up, we have Santa's Visit. This is the Winter Village collection set that is retiring this year. Every year with Winter Village, we kind of know what we're going to get. We're going to get one new set in the Winter Village lineup, and we're going to have one set that retires and disappears for good. And this year, the Santa's Visit is saying goodbye. This is 10293 with 1,455 pieces, 4 minifigures, including Santa, of course. Price per piece of 7 cents, very reasonable. And this one, I think, is just a really fun build, and it has a lot going for it. It definitely has a great place in anybody's Winter Village if they were building and collecting these sets. Released in October 2021, so it will have a shelf life of just over 2 years by the time this one retires. Next up, we have the Real Madrid Santiago Bernabeu Stadium. This is 10299, another one of these soccer football stadiums that will be retiring following Barcelona Stadium and the Old Trafford Stadium. So this is 5,876 parts. These stadiums are absolutely massive, and honestly, I haven't built one of these, but they do look like really, really fun builds. 0 minifigs, a price per piece of 7 cents, $400 retail price. Once again, this is where I have some problems because I invest in Lego in the US market, and the US market, of course, has a lot of soccer fans, but less than Europe would have. And so asking the fans and the demand to be there for $400 is a big ask. And for that reason, these sets have been significantly discounted. So last year we had the Barcelona set was discounted a lot. It was something like a 40% discount on Lego.com for like 4 months. And recently we've also seen the Real Madrid Stadium has also been discounted on Lego.com. And as we all know, Lego.com do not do significant discounts a lot of the year, so it's rare, and whenever they do, it tells me that maybe the set is, they're struggling to move enough units of that set. I think the price point on this one is the reason why. It's a big price to be asking for a kind of a small market, but it is a niche market, but they still, the fans of these football teams are so devout and so, you know, dedicated that, you know, they will buy the stadiums. So it has been selling just a little slower than I'd like to see. Release date of March 22, retiring at the end of December 2023. That will be a shelf life of just 1 year and 3/4 on this one. Next up, we have the Horizon Forbidden West Tallneck. So this is based on the video game Horizon, of course, set number 76989. Now, just looking at this set, I absolutely love the design of this set. As a fan of the video game, you know, it speaks to me. Of course, it won't speak to everybody who don't understand the franchise and haven't seen what this comes from. I think the design is excellent. They capture the essence of the Tallneck in the video game very, very well, and it's just such a cool display piece. And this is going to look great on the shelf in, you know, the game room of a Horizon fan. 1,222 parts, 2 minifigures, and a price per piece of 7 cents. It's a $90 set, and I think that's pretty reasonable for what you get in this one. Release date of May 2022, so it will have a short shelf life when it retires at the end of December. It will be a year and a half on the shelves. So this one was also significantly discounted during Prime Day, and in my opinion, that was a really good deal if you are buying as a collector or you're buying as an investor and you want to invest in this Lego set. I think that was a great opportunity to do so, and hopefully we see that deal pop back up again before the end of the life of the Tallneck this year. Next up, we have the Galaxy Explorer. Set number is 10497. As we talked about, space sets are super popular. This is an old, vintage, really cool looking space set. 1,254 parts. 5 minifigures inside this one. We can only see 4 in the picture, so there might be another one somewhere, but according to Brickset, there's 5 minifigures in this box. Let me know in the comments if that's wrong. It's a price per piece of 8 cents. MSRP $100 on the Galaxy Explorer. Release date of August 22, so this is gonna have a short shelf life of just under a year and a half by the time this one goes. So Galaxy Explorer also retiring at the end of 2023. Now again, these dates could change, so we need to keep an ear to the ground. If you want to be in on the conversations, we have a free Facebook group where we talk about Lego investing and buying Lego sets before values start to go up. So join that Facebook group from the link down below in the description. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one.